Yeah, I'd say it's relationships just have to do with, you know, no matter what type, have to do with really having to be mature enough and empathetic enough to care about other human beings. Like, I know some people that just I genuinely have no empathy, that still try to be in relationships, and that shit just blows my mind. Marriage is whatever. It does, again, marriage is a similar thing. It's nothing like what it was, and like, I don't know. You know, as a divorced man, I would get married again. It's whatever. I guess I don't value my stuff that highly, and if I really got to a point that I did, like, there's also ways to, you know, be honest and talk about that. But I guess it's also different now that I'm at a point where I'm not gonna have any more kids, right? The one that I see a lot of people still struggle to comprehend is like, they'll ask their partner, or they won't necessarily even ask. Their partner and them will come to the decision that, you know, like, it makes sense for one person to stay home, or it makes sense for one person not to focus on work so much. And then forget about how that, like, royally fucks their life. Like, and then get mad that they're gonna lose shit in a divorce. Like, dude, you didn't give your partner an opportunity. That item's worthless. Oh, I guess I want that item. To have any shit, and now you're mad that they want some of it. Kim was really, my ex-wife was really weird about that shit. She would not take anything that wasn't hers, that she didn't earn. But that being said, she also, like, made very sure that she had her shit and I had my shit all through marriage. But also that was her toilet paper, dog. And that's the part of that story that everyone didn't understand. Like, yes, I was upset there was no toilet paper at my house, but I also expected her to take her stuff. I just didn't remember that she bought the last toilet paper. And then you get married again if that marriage didn't work. Why? I'm curious. What's your reasoning? Because my reasoning is, I appreciate the commitment of a marriage. I value that commitment, right? Like, that's, to me, it means something. Even though I've been through a divorce where it didn't mean something to the other person, it does mean something to me. I don't really believe in, like, soulmates, though, or any of that nonsense, right? Like, I think the reality of relationships is it just takes two people that really want to make it work. That's it. It helps two people want to make it work when they share things in common or they're attracted to one another. Those things help. But I really do believe the key to a relationship lasting is just the fact that two people want it to last. That's it. The amount of commitment put into our 8-year relationship would just ruin you emotionally to not have it work. Yeah, but you get over that. Hopefully, I did. Yeah, I'm not saying you can't discount compatibility like to a degree, but I don't think it's like I've been in some relationships. Kim and I are a fine example. We get along fine. We did not scream and yell and hate one another. We still don't. She just really didn't want to be in a relationship. No, I moved my camera for another game and then didn't move it back today because I'm lazy. Anyway, yeah, relationships are weird and tough, and everyone's are different. It's crazy. They're not all the same. I hate when people give, like, really personalized relationship advice. Well, what works for me and Jill is a handy before coffee. That sounds tight, actually. Bum, 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 bum. I don't know a Jill, weirdly enough. Like, not a single one. No, Jill. If I ever met a Jill. Yeah, you should realize that's what I mean, Bob. Like, top 5 worst people you've ever met? A Jill? You won't believe the top 5 worst people I've ever met. Thumbs up. When we will get married. Are they religious? I think marriage is just what people like to say as a precursor to children, usually, from my experience. I love meeting people's families, though. I love digging deep, man. I want to know the weirdest details about someone's life. I want to meet your great uncle. That shit. That's the only thing that keeps me dating, honestly. It's like the closest thing you get to living a second life, right? Is getting to fucking get weird and dive into someone else's life. Oh yeah, it's a grandkids thing then, Roy. That's why. That's all it is. They just want you to get to the baby making, because they're worried they're gonna die before they get to see grandkids, and that's some weird, you know, like a checklist thing for people. If you're confused about what's going on here, basically, chat caught me tweeting a picture of myself to a girl on a dating app to confirm my identity, which then led to me discussing dating all night long. So, like I said, I like to dig deep into people's lives, and that you got to start small, though, with like, hey, what do you do? Which usually leads to, hey, what do you do? Which leads to me saying, you know, I try to explain my job. I always try to explain my job in like the least awkward way possible. But eventually it just leads to like, I play video games on twitch.tv. And then that leads to, so you live in your mom's basement and don't make any money. And then I don't want to brag and be like, no, dog, I live on a lake. I got a pontoon boat. So it just leads to a lot of trust issues and a tweet of my face. And even that doesn't work sometimes. I have a giant hole in my house. Yeah, it's for scenery. We haven't gotten to that part yet. I'm not sharing house holes. Oh, where's your time from the start? I don't know, man. Like, online dating is an uphill battle, I think. And it's an uphill battle I'm willing to take. Like, the problem is there's so many of you out there lying. Sending unsolicited dick pics, lying, and genuinely just being shitty. That, like, I understand why women on dating apps have trust issues in men. Y'all did that shit to me on my fishing trip, and we weren't even gonna fuck. So... You once had someone not like you for sending a dick pic? I mean, yeah, you deserve it. Did they ask for the dick pic? Well, if they asked for the dick pic and then didn't like you, you don't necessarily deserve it. And, like, don't answer that, because I don't want to... Oh, for not sending one. Yeah. That's fair. I guess. I mean, if that's what they want, that's what they want. The heart wants what the heart wants. Sometimes it's dick pics, apparently. I can't be horny on the internet. Out of an irrational fear of someone throwing it in my face on Twitch. So, I'm a perfect gentleman. I went and visited a girl, and she gave me the, like, you know, nothing's gonna, it wasn't like a specific nothing's gonna happen, but like a, you know, it was a this isn't just that kind of deal. You know, we ain't fucking for sure. She certainly made it, you know, made me aware that this wasn't a booty call. This was to meet each other. But, like, I had to leave. I had things to do. Plus, I'm a gentleman. So I left without booty. At a reasonable hour. And then she just, like, ghosted me the next day. And finally I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna say something. She's like, oh, I just thought you didn't like me because you left. And I was like, gentlemen. Gentlemen. What about this man with a beard and a sleeveless shirt doesn't scream gentleman? But now I just want to be that dude who, like, goes 4 dates without sex. That's my goal. 4. They'll certainly think I'm a fucking creep, which is funny. It'll make for a really funny story later for chat. Why 4? I don't know, 4 seems like a lot. It's a lot of dates. I've never been on, like, one real date. Well, I guess that one was kind of a date. Farming. I'm not farming them for content. I'm just not that horny. I could go 4 dates without. I've lived a long life. But what's the point of dating? Just having a really good friend with some like-minded goals in life. That's my point in dating. That's what I want. Honestly, if I could just find a dude who, like, wanted to just go halvesies on life with me, that we never fucked, we'd probably end up getting gay. Just getting all gay with each other. But, like, the intention wouldn't be to get gay. It would just happen out of boredom, probably. Fucking, we'd be watching reruns of Forge and Fire and start jacking each other off. It will kill. I never intended to tackle life alone. Like, again, if we're being, like, real honest with ourselves here, like, really letting it out. I feel like crying for some reason. Anyway, yeah, I just never intended to go through life alone. And I think it would be more enjoyable to have a sidekick. Not a sidekick, just like you know, a partner. Partner is better than sidekick. Sidekick makes it sound like I'm far more important than them. I'll be the fucking sidekick. I don't want just a roommate, though. No, it's more than that, man. Like, you know, a roommate's just someone that lives with you. We don't like playing. I've never had a roommate that you're like, what do you think we should do with the yard? You know, like my roommates just always give me cash and go to their room. Like pets that pay. You want a pet that pays? That's how I bought my first house. I had 2 of them. The funny part was the 2 kids that moved in with me had the money to, like, I offered them, like, let's buy this house together. And they're like, no, I'm not ready to make that kind of a commitment because we were just out of high school. And I was like, yeah, but, like, then we're buying something. And they were like, nah, I don't think so. So I did. I bought it. And then they just paid me fucking rent for years. Idiots. What do I want to do with the yard? Personally? Nothing. Fucking, I hate the yard. Being a landlord. Yeah, it's called surviving capitalism. You can buy my book at Barnes & Noble. Currently working on my second book. These suckers fell for it. You won't believe it. It's gonna be good stuff in there. Suckers, the people that bought your first book? Absolutely. And my 2 roommates that paid me rent. I don't know what that does. Didn't Barnes & Noble shut down? I don't know. I don't read. Does this look like the face of a man that reads? The only time I get invited to go to Barnes & Noble is to play board games. I have like 2 friend groups. They're not even that close to friends. They're like people that act like we're friends, but we don't really hang out because I never show up at their Barnes & Noble board game night. It's my fault. Now that we've worked this out, I'm the reason. He'll get into them fishing books, dude. I have 1 coffee table book, Slack, and it's spin fishing. That's all. The title of the book, spin fishing. You should have a coffee table for coffee table books. Dude, my coffee table, the top lifts up and folds out and becomes like an eating table. Really living a bachelor life here. This is just depressing. Wow, fuck you. I love my coffee table. Sounds like a smart table. I mean, it was made in like 1988, so I don't think they used that terminology yet back then. It came with a house. And I fell in love with it and kept it. It's a clever table, yeah. TV dinner trays? I don't eat TV dinners. Those are gross. What's inside your box, Mom? I eat fast food like an adult. I think I tweeted this. I might have deleted it. I don't remember. Sometimes I delete my tweets. But I try sometimes to I'm gonna get healthy and stop eating so much fast food. And then I made 2 pounds of asparagus and fried it all in butter. And then 12 to 14 ounces of steak. I don't know exactly because I think I got 16 ounces of steak and my daughter ate some, but I ate the majority of it. And then I ate all that and felt, really healthy. Yeah. Healthy lifestyle. Goodbye, world. No carbs, super healthy. Oh, and I put some egg in there, because why not? My mother-in-law made this, I don't remember what she called it, like hillbilly asparagus or something. And it was basically just asparagus. I don't even know how to explain it. Protein, yeah, more protein. Yeah, it was like a breakfast steak and egg and asparagus omelet. It was good, but way too much food for one growing boy to eat. My mother-in-law hates me. Ex-mother-in-law, she hates me. I said some mean things to her. Sorry, I laugh. I shouldn't. That's bad. But yeah, so I saw her today when I dropped off my daughter. And I said, I made your asparagus, perfect. And she just looked at me. Doubt it. It was very funny. She hasn't spoke to me pretty much since Kim moved out. Except the moment where I was, selling her off. That was her most biting retort. It was very good. It made me very happy. Very irregular. We used to be super close, actually. I mean, she's never gonna watch Twitch, so I can tell you guys. Basically, when Kim was leaving, I tried to talk to her mom because her mom and I were quite close. She didn't like that and got a little salty with me at that, so that started it. But then when Kim moved out, she moved in with her mom, and I was like, well, Alice can't stay there because your son is a drug addict, and I don't want my daughter to stay with a drug addict, which made her very upset. And I get it. She wanted her granddaughter there, and I said no. She assumed I said no solely out of, like, spite for the situation, but the reality is there had been a firm rule between my ex and I that, you know, our daughter didn't stay at the drug addicts. They are very weird, Nor. He has 2 kids of his own, one of which he's never met. He's never even met. But she still defends him with her dying breath. She will defend that boy because it's her son. And I don't know what I would do if I hopefully don't ever have to be in that position. But as she got more and more angry with me about the situation, I have a temper, chat. And I may have said something along the lines of, why is it you only like men who don't support their families? And she refuses to speak to me, except this one biting retort today. Tactful. Thank you. Thank you. It's a regret now. It's a funny regret, though, because, like, it's true. But also very mean, and that was something I did out of spite. See, I showed her that I can be spiteful. I'm making amends? No, I won't. I won't in this scenario. I believe in apologizing. There's a time and a place. And apologize when it matters. But in this scenario, no. No. I don't like people that just lie, right? And that's the situation. Like, you know, your son is a hazard to those around him. You know that, but you're pretending like it's not the case just because it's inconvenient for you.
Spent it. It's gone. Just get over it.
You mean it's gone? How can you have spent our savings?
I think you can be, you can take, like, that was a bad approach to honesty, for sure. I'm not gonna deny that, but, cause yeah, you can express your feelings sometimes in a very mean way. I'm usually pretty careful. I know it doesn't seem like it here on the internet, but I'm usually pretty careful with my words. Because I don't know about you guys, but I'm the kind of person that when someone you care about says some horrible ass shit to you, not only do you, like, remember it forever, but you, like, remember the look on their face when they said it to you. So I've had enough of that happen to me that I try to be pretty careful with my words. At least when it comes to insults. I don't know how this character does against beasts. Did I just get random ass bone hearts I don't want? Good. Yeah, nobody cares right when you're an asshole. There's times where you have to be. There isn't much other option but to be an asshole.
Shut up! Just keep pushing me like this. I'm leaving.
Good. Leave. We'll be fine without you.
Wow, that trinket's pretty just fucking good, huh? Yeah, I've talked about this one a bit, but I have a lot of people in my life, and people that I wish... anyway, I have a lot of people in my life that, like, come to me for advice, which is weird, I know. But, like, both my parents, their parents are dead, and, you know, they don't necessarily have great people in their life as influence, stuff like that. So, like, I get a lot of people that ask me for advice that don't really want to hear it. And that's where I really get the most frustrated. Oh, wait a minute. So it does nothing for me. Please help me justify it. Yeah, that's... That's just so frustrating, man. Like, I'm wrong a lot, and I do my best to admit when I'm wrong. I try, it's very hard not to come off as a know-it-all, but when people ask for, like, to me, the most, like, obvious advice sometimes, and then they still try to just deny it because it's not what they want to hear, that's just frustrating to not come off as a know-it-all or an asshole.
You need to confess your sins and become saved. Let his light inside you cleanse your soul.
I got an 18-year-old brother, too.
You are taking this too far. Sound.
And that one's been interesting, watching him become an adult.
Pray with us, Isaac.
And, you know, it's, you gotta really look at yourself before you give out some advice sometimes, too. I made plenty of mistakes at his age. And I'm still making plenty of mistakes. Yeah, I can't say it enough, honestly, how much I believe humans lie to themselves. Like, how easy it is for people to lie to themselves. It's crazy. Scary. About, you know, who they are and their actions and... I think so, Tifa. Yeah, like, I think so. I think that's part of it. Like, using, like, a big part of my stream starting up was talking about my mistakes and, the, you know, getting past them and stuff like that. But a big part of who I am was learning from my father's mistakes. The reason I don't drink is because my father was an alcoholic. And, like, a lot of people tell me that's me being afraid of, you know... like it's a bad thing that I'm afraid of, you know, my father's mistakes. But, like, it's also just a good thing to not be an alcoholic, to not drink.
Where are you going? Wait! We need you! Your son needs you!
My dad is a womanizer. I get off on love and emotions. Like, these things, they're all pretty obvious if you really take 2 seconds to think about them. My dad gets pretty hurt that I use him as a negative influence, if you will, but he's still, like, the most influential person in my life, you know? Like, even if it was his mistakes or his continued mistakes, in my opinion, that influenced me to be better. My parents were horrible after their divorce, and 20 years later still aren't very good. They still don't get along as well as Kim and I do. And I didn't want to deal with that shit either. Like, yeah, like, negative influences are a big part of life, I think. Would I let my daughter did play Isaac with me? I'm not afraid of my daughter playing video games, like pretty much anything, Myth. I don't know. I might be too honest and too open with my daughter for her age, but you know, we have some fucking talks, dude. Some deep, meaningful talks. I tweeted this earlier, I think this was today, but we were talking about, like, someone on a TV show or a video or something mentioned, like, I must have done this in my past life, and then I got into talking to her about, like, Buddhists and stuff, and, you know, believing in a second life or many lives, and she just sat there listening to me ramble on about the little I know about it, and then she just said, well, I guess we'll see, huh? It's like, Jesus Christ, kid, you're 8. And you're already more comfortable with death than I am. When she was like 4, I was explaining to her what the belly button was for, you know, the umbilical cord and all that, and she asked me what's now an obvious question, but at the time shook me to my core when she asked me, if everyone's connected to their mom by the umbilical cord, who was the first mom connected to? And I just went, I don't know the answer to that one, child. We were having that same conversation again the other day, talking about belly buttons, and I got to that point where I was gonna mention what I just told you, and she's like, let's not talk about the first mom, Dad. And I was like, Jesus, kid. I don't even want to think about it, Dad. And I was like, all right, me either. Another human. Yeah, but the point is, it's like a continuing chicken and the egg, right? Like, even if you know, yeah. She's very mature. I read a tweet the other day that said if people called you mature for your age as a kid, you had a fucked up home life. And I was like, uh-oh. But she's very mature for her age. But yeah, I don't hide games from her. I don't hide a lot from her. So far, pretty much everything I've thrown at her, she can handle. and then some, you know? And then she takes it to a whole nother level of like, I can't believe you want to know this. Does Alice enjoy going fishing with me? Not really, no. She doesn't really like fishing. She likes catching. She likes when a bunch of us go together, but no, not the two of us. I had to bribe her into fishing the other day. Yeah, I don't think hers is so much tough experience as just her mother and I didn't have any friends with kids. So for like the first, until Alice was in preschool, she had no kids her age to spend time with. Probably unhealthy. But it meant she got a lot of time hanging out with me and her mom and other adults, and just a lot of real conversations. There was never baby talk allowed in our house or anything like that. We just... She was asking me about something I think about all the time, which weirded me out. How different people think. Why are you thinking about these things, kid? When I was a baby, do you think I thought in like goo-goos and gagas? Since I couldn't talk? I wish I could remember being a baby so I could remember how I thought. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. Subs and stuff. I love you. See you probably tomorrow.